Oh, shit.
You're live.
Hey, welcome to Slow News Day Live. My name is Steve Boykinen. I'm here in half burnout Boulder Creek, California. Holy crap! It's like Christmas. I'm as giddy as I'm ever going to get right now. This is peak giddy for me. Before I introduce and welcome back our incredible guests, I need to introduce Slow News Day's newest co-host, and I couldn't be fucking happier about this, man. I'm really stoked. I can't wait to see what happens, as I never fucking know what's gonna happen, which makes for a whole lot of fun. So please welcome to the show the new co-host to Slow News Day, Miss Glory Jones. How the hell are you?
I'm doing good. Great.
Really glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. It's like so awesome that you asked me on, and like I'm really glad that Reverend Danny and Ian are here to be my first guest I'm co-hosting for, and just really excited. Yeah.
So with that, let's get right to it. Coming back onto the show is the one and only legendary Miss Reverend Annie Chambers and our good friend and brother Ian Schlakman. How's it going, Reverend Annie? I love you.
Hey, I'm okay. I need some of what you got so I can get up.
Go get her some coffee, Ian. What the hell? What are you slacking for? I thought you were friends.
I am. I'm one of your favorite people. I told you my doctor tried to give me a card so I could buy.
I'd take him up on that. I would absolutely take him up on that. Look, if the good Lord gave us all seed-bearing plants, it is our duty and our obligation to, in some small nod back to days of old, engage in a little bit of sacrifice by fire and take that particular sacrament and ingest it right into your little brain nugget. Pretty sure it says that in 1 Corinthians. I'm pretty sure if you look in 1 Corinthians, it says exactly what I just said there.
Right.
You might have switched around a couple words, Steve.
It's tragically been like a month since I actually got to see you and hang out with you for a little bit, and I wish I lived closer. But you were telling us about when you wrangled Amazon, and I was hoping that you would be willing to share that story with the audience today.
Oh, well, we needed food. You know, we in a food desert here in Baltimore, especially public housing. And I knew that they were giving food. Amazon were giving food, but it was all going to the counties. So I decided I would approach them head on. I went to Amazon, and I got my little MTA mobility bus to drive me out to their corporate office that's here in Baltimore. And I got out the bus, rolled my little wheelchair in, and went in the building. And the secretary asked me, could she help me? And I said, when I come out, you'll be able to help me. But they were having a meeting. I hear confidentially they were having a board meeting. So I went to the board and asked them for food for my, development and for public housing. And they said they would like to help me, but, unfortunately they were, restricted. And so I said, I tell you what, you don't give me nothing. But when I leave here, of course, I was dressed up in my little minister stuff, I had my little collar and bull jive, my stuff on. And I said, when I leave here, I'm going to every news station, every television station, every radio, everywhere I can. And I'm calling CNN. And I'm calling Democracy Now! Also, I know Amy, she's a friend. I met her once, at the Democratic convention, but they don't know that. I told them, I said, she's a friend. And I'm going everywhere and tell them how you feel about black people, about poor people. And I said, thank y'all, have a good day. Don't give me nothing. But I went back, going back out to the parking lot to wait for my mobility bus to pick me up. They come running out and say, come back, Reverend, come back. We want to talk to you. And I went back in and they said, oh, we decided we could help you. And so they got one of the people that I said, I don't have a truck. I can't pick up nothing. I told you we poor. We don't have anything. So it's a person in the city he drives for them, not just the city, because I understand he delivers in Washington and other Philly, Pennsylvania and stuff too, J. Faulkner. And they said, we will connect you with him, connect him with you, and he will bring your food out to you once a week. Well, it's really gotten good now because we got 2 deliveries this week, from them. But they gave us the food. So I'm saying that that's my thing to people. This is a revolution. And damn it, we got to fight with everything we got. And so, my thing is to say to people all the time who say they don't have nothing, because there's another big venture that has been laid on my heart by God that I'm going into. I just sprung it on in, is that we got to start a non-profit free store for people to come in and get food, because as you seen, I do it on the sidewalk right out front on the street, and it's getting winter time, and so now I'm going to have to venture into getting a store. So, thumbs up, y'all got to pray that Reverend get this store. I'm going to get the store. If I have to take the store, I'm going to get the store. But, that's what we have to do. We're in a revolution. We got to think of the ways to fight.
Well, and I've long thought that there's no way you can topple an oligarchy on some Funyuns. Like you gotta have real food.
Yes, and we do get some good stuff now. The people down here done got stuff they never even thought could be afford to eat. We got steak. We got all kinds of good chicken and all kinds of things. I mean, everything that they, all kinds of special water. Yesterday we had the life water. That water costs you a lot of money. They gave us cases of that. The people didn't even know what to do with it. They were so happy they got it.
That's the kind of shit that, like, I don't know, man. You can turn that into a genuine movement when you can show people that, like, okay, you can cut out the middleman and you don't have to break yourselves in order to eat every day. So why aren't we doing that in general?
Right. Well, I ain't above taking it.
And that's one of the many, many reasons I love you.
Yeah, we'll take it. Don't give it to me. I take it. And that's in the Bible. Open the storehouse and let it flow. The storehouse is there, and I was, my next thought was, okay, we'll hit Amazon's warehouses. They don't want, but we didn't have to do. They gave it up.
I would just, I have this vision in my head of like a phalanx of people storming Amazon's warehouse with you in a wheelchair up front.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and keep that image. I'm gonna hold it like right here for a very long time. Okay.
Yep.
Man, I have like I have a fuck ton of questions, but I would also like for Glory to hop in and fire away with anything that might be swirling around in your head.
Oh, I'm literally just listening. I love it when you tell all your stories because it's like that's the things that those are the things that I love to hear, and it's really the kind of stuff that I like to try and keep in my mind when I go out and I do these actions because you're a Black Panther. It's like it's at least part of my beliefs that we should be taking advice from people like you. So stuff like marching up to Amazon and just demanding that they give you food is really awesome. And I'm just curious, is that the type of stuff that you would do back in the 60s with your survival programs with the Black Panthers too?
That's exactly what we did. That's why we do. We would go to the merchants and say, "This is what we want." Every store in our community, go to the bakeries, go there when we say we want X amount loaves of bread, and if they say no, we look at them and say, "Do you intend to stay in business? Do you intend to make money off of our people?" That's exactly what we had. We didn't allow landlords to evict people. We didn't, our children didn't go hungry. And those are the things that we did as Black Panthers. We went to the stores. We knew how much business or about how much business everybody was doing in our community. We went to the dairies, Cloverland, all those places. We would say, we want X gallons of milk. We want X amount of bread. We want, basic things. And that's how we got the food and the breakfast program, the lunch program, the program where children ate every day. Families, people could come and get. That's where the free stores started at, And so that's what Pampers did. And when we found, and we know what they were teaching our children in schools, and so we started our freedom schools, and those were the things that we did for our families, for our people. It's like I tell people now, they were saying, oh, we don't really care. I said, yes, we do, but we got to love. You got to love yourself first. Love yourself. See, we don't love ourselves. When I tell people, I say, when you can point and find part of those young people out there fighting for what's right, it's because you don't love yourself. You never got to love yourself. So if you love yourself, then you can spread it. Then you can see, why am I out here in this street? Why am I out here demonstrating? Because I love myself. Why am I building a revolution? Because I love myself. I want change. And so it means change for the masses. And when I say love myself, I don't mean be greedy and just grab for myself, because it doesn't just exist around me. This is not what exists. It does not all exist around me. If you're a human being and then you see that it spreads out, you're human, it spreads. We interact with each other. If I can eat when you can eat. And that's what I'm telling them when they say Black Lives Matter. And I had some Black people come up to me. Well, what do you mean? It don't matter. I said, oh, yes, it do matter. It matters. We matter. It is because you don't understand how to love yourself. Or you teach those young people, you get out there with them and show them that what love is about. It's not a selfish thing. Our lives matter. All humans matter because it spreads. I want to be able to see no hunger in the whole world. I want to be able to see no homeless people in the whole world. I talk to people about that. I like to use Cuba as an example. I love to use Cuba as an example of taking care of the world, because Cuba had hardly nothing when they threw up the blockade after them crooks found out they weren't going to come and overrun the country, but Fidel kept his country going. The people ate. The people had food. You know, the people had the best medical care. All these things. Now that's a little country, and here we sitting on billions and billions, and can't give a person pull a tooth in this country. But you don't have money, you can't get your teeth fixed. You can't go to a doctor. You don't have money. You don't, so America, we show up, America shows up for what it is and what it's about. And we the people in America got to make the change. We in a revolution. This is a revolution, and we gonna make a change. Because not only the devil sits in the White House, but he got all his other little cronies spread it around. Who in the hell get well in 5 days of corona but that fool? He ain't well. And like I told people, I said, no, I don't, let him go. Because anytime you see you on your way to hell, and that's what the people is that's following him. They following him. Who goes to a rally and know you can die and kill your children and your grandchildren? You understand? That's foolishness. But those were things we as Black Panthers always fought against. Remember sickle cell, how we fought. We didn't have no clinics and stuff, but we went to other doctors. We went to doctors, black and white, brown, whatever, and say, look, we got a terrible disease that's killing our people, and we need your help. A lot of the sickle cell policies and medication stuff, we, the Black Panthers, made these things possible. Even with the cancer, we fought for poor people to get treatment, black and white. So these are things that as a Black Panther was inbred in me, and will stay. And I will continue to fight because I know that's part of the revolution. And I'm kind of old now, can't hold a gun as good as I used to. So I got to be able to do some of the other things, but when need come, I got a gun that I can hold, but I can't hold it as, like I used to. I got to be, doing stuff that I can do.
I want to circle back to the freedom school thing for a minute, because I've got kids that are in elementary and high school, and they're in this like online only education system that sucks. Like, it sucks for the students, it sucks for the teachers, it sucks for the parents, it sucks for everyone involved. And we've been kind of scratching our heads over what we can actually do for our kids to have them learn something tangible, because it's not happening in their virtual classroom setting. And on top of that, there's a lot of school districts out here that want you to download this like snitch and spy software that will let the teacher know if you have another tab open, if you're cheating, if you're talking to one of your friends or shit like that. And I'm not I've worked pretty hard to make the devices in my house as secure as possible. I know there's no such thing as a completely secure device, but you can make it really, really hard for people. And I'm not voluntarily putting snitchware on any device in my house. So how did the freedom schools operate, and can we do something like that during like a partial or full medical martial lockdown?
The freedom schools, I look at what went on in our schools, And it's sad that we don't have schools like that all over for children, because first children were learned to love themselves, to respect themselves. You know, we never had children, even if you disagreed, we didn't have fights. We did not have fights in our school. First of all, there were rules. You respected an adult that was running that class. That was number one. Number two was that, and it used to be in my classes, I used to say, can't nobody cuss in here but me. I would let them know. I do say words that you can't come out and repeat. Okay. But we always taught respect. That was the main thing in our school, for yourself and others. If someone found fault of what somebody else had on, I said, if you had that on, would you like for that child to, disrespect you? That we taught a lot about self-respect in our schools. We didn't play the dozens, which is talk about people's mother. Because I used to tell people, you really want to fight, say something about your mother, somebody's mother. Because even I'm an old person today. And if you make me mad enough and I want to fight you, I talk about your mama. I just did it yesterday with a young man because he made me mad. So I said something to his mama. That was like, come on, I'm ready for you. That's the battle cry. You talk about somebody's mama. So we let them know you don't do that. But for curriculum, see, our history books is made up of lies. So we had griots that came in and talked about what went on in our history. We also talked about the times that we lived in right then, and things was happening. When it came down to I call it we did ebonics. We taught children, and we even taught children another language, a black people's language. Okay, let me see, I guess maybe the last three of my children can't do it as good, or can't do it, but we used to call it pig Latin. All the rest of my children can do it. All of my rest of my children can do it, because that was our language. We taught our children a language. That was so that the establishment wouldn't know what they were talking about. Because our children got locked up too, and our children had to, certain things were in school. My children anyway, they knew how to talking to each other, so that even those quote, when they were in the regular school, the quote educated Negro didn't know what they were talking about. And they said, where y'all come from? Or they just thought it was a Southern accent. But it wasn't. It was a whole nother language. I hear them talk to each other like that even now, sometime on the phone, and I laugh at them, or they talk to each other in parties, and I laugh at them. How people really be done forgot it, but they didn't forget it. But we learned our children the basics. I know the math and all of that stuff. And then again, we had good people come in and help us. There were people of all races that came and taught in the Freedom School. We had professors from college, professors. We had students from college would come in, because a lot of us, we didn't have those talents. And we had people to come in and help us even with reading, and we had retired teachers. We would go to the community, but we go beyond our community, and there were a lot of sympathetic people that did help us. And I think that needs to come back. But first of all, we need to get the lies out the history book, because as my grandson said to a teacher, but it's been about maybe 6 years ago now, and they were talking about Abraham Lincoln. And my grandson said, yes, he did. He lied, because my grandmother said he told lies like everybody else. You don't tell me he ain't never told a lie. or he freed the slave. He ain't free, but he told his teacher the history that I had told him. And it wasn't in the book. And he said the book told a lie. Just like sometimes I tell people stuff in the Bible. When they say, here it is in the Bible, I say, and who says the truth? Man wrote that Bible and it's a lie. Common sense, use common sense sometime with things. So that's the way the Freedom School worked. Now that they got this, because my daughters and sons and stuff, they telling me and a lot of other people about the curriculum that they got out now for the children and the teaching them in the school thing. And I'm glad I don't have no children, because my children would not be able to get on the computer to do that mess, other than basic the math and stuff like that. But some of the other stuff, and the fact that they looking around in people's houses to see what the hell you got, I'd put up a big whole blank sheet right where that's what I told them. I said, get you a blanket or a sheet wherever there's the computer. Put you a whole blanket or sheet there, so they can't see what the hell is in your house. Because we just had the thing where they had the school sending the police to people's houses talking about they had guns or they had. You ain't got to look at my damn house. You there, you're supposed to be teaching my child. But that's the way it is. It is. This is a mess. And until we can get the children back in the classroom, I think they should be taught just the basics. And, for the older students and stuff, that, there's a lot of good books that they can read and stuff. But it is going to be hard, because we need to overhaul the education system in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to overhaul that bull. It's a lot of bullshit. Let's just face it. And I say I won't cuss on a Sunday, but but it's a lot of bullshit.
As the resident deacon at the Church of Slow News Day, I absolve you. For whatever good a heathen's blessing is, you've got it. You're well.
And it's good, because that's who I'm here to save. I'm here. It's good. That's what I need, y'all. That's why he sent me. He made me a heathen preacher, so I can be here right with y'all.
I have you listed on my do not resuscitate order as my spiritual advisor, just so you know.
You will inherit the earth. That's what it says. We got to really read and understand, and stop all the bull jiving. But that's the Freedom School were the young people that came out of the Freedom School, and I judge it even on my own family, their parents even, and everything. They all together different generations. All together different generations. And by the way, when you said Freedom Schools, see, Freedom Schools were started in all communities where there were, and sometimes there were no chapters of the Black Panthers. We had white children in the Freedom Schools too, we had white children. They were hungry hell. Everybody got to eat. They would come, and their parents wanted to know, could they come? Yes, come on. We never see that we were never a nationalist group. That's the lie people say about the Panthers. We were never a nationalist group, because we wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have made it as far as we did if we'd have been a nationalist group, because we had all colors and all people helping us. Speaking of Fidel helped the Black Panthers. He did as much for the Black Panthers as he did for his own revolution. He supported us wholeheartedly. But not only that, we had not the Orthodox Jews, but we did have Jews that supported us wholeheartedly, that help us. Okay, we had all kinds of people that helped the Black Panthers. It wasn't just a thing of, we was out front. We knew we had to pawn our own destiny, because Minister Malcolm said that. and we had to stand up. But we had a lot of support and a lot of sympathetic people that helped us. That's what happened in the Black Panthers. That's how we made it, you know. So, we gotta, if we had a school like the Freedom School now, it would be much better. The world would be even better. This country would be better anyway, because in the Freedom School we taught about communities and what a community was. Even till the day that I got young people that's grown up, men and women, with their own children and grandchildren, and they still consider me as one of the mothers of the school, because that's what we call all the elders and the adults in the school was mother. We didn't say Miss So and So, or we didn't have no reverends there either. By the way, we didn't have no reverends. You know what I mean? It was, so right now I see sometime just be out and somebody holler, "Hey, that Reverend Mother Annie," and I know it's somebody from the Freedom School, because they know that now I'm Reverend Annie, right? Well, I wasn't no Reverend then anyway, but they know that I'm a Reverend now, and so they'll say Reverend Mother. They still say Mother, because that's the way all the women were respected as mother. We respected the children, the men, everyone called every woman mother. Mother this, so that was the respect that was taught in the schools. And right now I look at the stuff that's on the computers for the children, and I taught, I say good luck with teaching them that. We just, making them, it's just so much greed. That's the thing, there's just greed.
Well, and
That's what I think being taught.
it's a picture of American history that is 100% fantasy.
Completely revisionist.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we've even talked about this, Annie, the fact that like Americans don't know their history as a rule, as
Right.
as a solid concrete rule. You're never actually going to know what the real history of the country is unless you sit down and you talk to somebody like you, or unless you sit down and you talk to a Native American elder, unless you sit down and talk to somebody who even like pick the first time you pick up A People's History of the US by Howard Zinn. Like, it's entirely different, and it's so intentional that bits and pieces of the real history of the country are kept locked behind a paywall at the university level. And that should not be the case. But if it wasn't the case, if we all knew what the real history of the country was, there's no way in hell we would stand for anything that's being done to us right now.
I agree. But because we allow them to change it whenever they want to suit them. I had some of the young people who came to me, and some other people. So even in my family, my home is Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, by the way. And my cousins and some more folks called me, and they said, "We need you to get here. We want you to be spokesperson, because we so proud of you and our family and blah blah blah." And I said, "Yeah, what are we doing? We tearing down the Robert E. Lee statue." And and I laughed. I couldn't stop laughing. First of all, you want me to get on a bus or train or something and ride to Richmond, or you gonna tear down that damn Robert E. Lee statue? Yeah, because we want to show him. I said, "Look, let me tell you something. I'm not coming." Why? Because I want Robert E. Lee's statue to keep his ass right there. Why? Well, no. How you gonna teach history? That's a part of y'all history. That's a part of our history. Let that old man stay there so we can tell what he did. Out of sight, out of mind. If that statue is gone, then that story, that history of what he was is gone. They'll keep it and distort it. But if he's there, I got the statue that say, see this old bastard right here? Oh, no, oh. I'm sorry. See this man right here? This is what he did. He fought so your parents could stay in slavery, your grandparents, and he did, and tell the whole history of who Lee was. Because see, I remember they used to, and I don't know whether they still do it in Virginia, but they used to have a Robert E. Lee Day. Now, tell the truth about what happened. That's what I want. So I wasn't going there to tear down the statue. I would go there to say, Bill, John Brown statue right beside him, kicking him in the ass. Bill, the statue of John Brown. We don't have one of them in Virginia. But that's what I wanted. I said, y'all start a campaign to get a John Brown statue. Start a campaign to get a Malcolm X statue, a Martin Luther King, a Coretta Scott, Betty Shabazz. Get some of them statues. Fight to get your history up. But leave him there so you can tell who he is. So I did not participate in any other destroying of statues all over the country, because my thing was I want them that history to be told the truth. I don't need the lies. We need to tell the truth. And the statues show we can say this is what it stood for. This is what this person stood for. This is what they did. I said, y'all going over there and tear down the Lincoln Memorial? Well, why would you want to do that? I said, why in the hell you want? Why not? Why not? He didn't free your black ass, so why not? His thing was it was industrial. Industrial thing that he started the war on. It wasn't that he cared about you being free. So that's the way that goes.
Well, I mean, it's an ugly history, but I think it's something that everyone needs to reckon with it. Because even myself now, I'm in college and I'm specifically an international relations major, and there's still literally like CIA and FBI talking points that I'm just having thrown at me every single day I'm in class. So, that history, it's still very much staring us in the face, and we don't know it yet. And
I don't want to go ahead. I'm sorry, darling.
And even with something like Cuba, especially, I grew up in Miami, and there's so many just negative half-truths and lies you learn about Cuba, and you don't learn the stuff that Fidel did helping out the Black Panthers movement, right. And you don't learn. Well, even now during the pandemic, Cuba is literally while under crushing sanctions from the US, they're sending out doctors to like Italy, and they send it to my other home country, Jamaica, and it's great to see. So I really wish that history is something that people could learn and reckon with, and even like current protesters now, because I still feel like there's tons of blind spots. So just kind of want to pick your brain more and ask, like, what other types of history lessons were you teaching in the freedom schools to help dispel a lot of these myths that you are taught in, institutional schools?
Well, we did teach economy. We have to teach our children about survival and, the economy. But we taught things like sharing, that economy that would be affordable for everybody. We had basically in Cuba teaches the same thing in their schools. A lot of their curriculum came from Cuba when we talk about that. because um, we taught our children about how to get a maybe a barter system, that if I could bake good and make bread, then maybe you sold good, right? And you would be able to, we could trade. We would have a trading system, a barter system, where we would be able to help each other. We did a lot of that for even teaching them, about the economy and what we could have as a people. We didn't have to, really, money really never could have to touch our system, but we could, live off a survival system of bartering, like I just said. Even say we had teachers to come in and teach our children how to fix shoes, how to make shoes. When you think your shoes wore out, they learned how to, had children learning how to make shoes. We also had older children learning a lot about herbs, because not only the native people knew about herbs, but Black Americans know a lot about herbs and cures. And they came in and taught our young people about these things, of how to cure a sore, how, a wound, all these kind of things we learned. We learned about stomach, things about stomach. And sometime now, um, I have to think, when things go wrong with me, that what would my grandmother or my father have said to me to use this on that, because I didn't know hospitals exist till I got to Baltimore. Everything everything was taken care of right in the community where I lived. And so we taught our children, while the doctors were good, because we had doctors, like I said, come in and help us with our sickle cell patients. But we knew a lot of the herbs that are, ginger and nutmeg and all those things. We knew about those cures for our people, and we taught our children that. So a lot of things that has been lost, like elephant ears for arthritis, and some people don't even know what an elephant ear is. It's growing wild all over, big plants, and it was just given that name, elephant ear. But you dip it in hot water and put it on your body, and it soothes the pain of the arthritis. It draws, you could see it drawing out, and the plant will draw up as it drawing out, information from your body. You know how we chew licorice for our stomach. Um, Diabetic people always took nutmeg and stirred it up in the morning and drink a cup of nutmeg water, right? Water with the nutmeg in it, vinegar and water, apple cider vinegar and water. These were things that you know the lay people knew and we could teach. As I said, we had teachers that did come in and help us with a curriculum, but basic things we could teach. And then we had what we call our ministers, spiritual ministers, to come in and teach respect and moral values and things like that to work with us.
What about history, though? Anything from history?
We taught history, um, but we didn't teach history out of the books. We didn't. Um, if you'd ask who's the white hero for us, it would be John Brown. We taught a lot about, him as a person. We taught a lot about um, the Pullman porters, car porters. We did ministers of minister.
Deacons of Defense.
No, not the Deacons of Defense. These were ministers of the Revolution. It was a whole nother group. See, they've been lost, because ministers of the Revolution were men that were in contact with John Brown.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, and they've been pushed out. But we, we knew, we talked about it because John Brown left papers. Okay, and a lot of this stuff was destroyed. Black people never got to know, but the ministers of revolution, were out before the deacons of defense and a whole lot of other. John Brown had a lot of ministers of the revolution who were supposed to actually, they were supposed to meet. They never talk about how it started from the upper part of the South to the bottom part of the South, that revolution. See, they don't teach that. That's part of the history of what we taught, that were taught to us. So we would talk about our history and all the way up until where we are now. And we would teach children, your father, your mother is a hero. The fact that your father is trying to survive for you. We also taught our children that they must respect every adult in the community. I don't care if it was a drunk or whoever he was, you respected that adult. That was taught to the children, that you must respect this person, And so these were history lessons. We taught them about Mama Ray. Now, Mama Ray has never been put down anywhere, but she was talked about, and through the griots, we learned about Mama Ray. Mama Ray was a woman. See, because far as I'm concerned, the history books, the white folks picked out who they want, just like they doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Ray was a black woman that before Harriet, who fought to free black people and brought black people out of slavery. And when you go to North Carolina, you find out a lot about Mama Ray. Mama Ray went there and got a whole city for black folks. Now, when you go to the bayou, it was a Creole woman. And I may not say her, because I never could say her name right, but her name was Bonsoir Jabou, who they were scared that she had black slaves. She didn't have slaves. Francois was a revolutionary, for as I was concerned, because the slaves got to the bayou down there, and they were scared to go in and get them, because you come out, you see a white head floating down the river. You understand? Not the rest of the body, just the head. They used to say they ate them. I don't know, but I know you see the head floating down the river. They didn't go in there. When the slaves made it to Bonsoir, they knew that they were free. So they don't teach a lot about that. They call her the head hunter. She was a Creole woman. Her father was black, but I think her mother was French. And they teach that. But we learned that from the griots and papers that they could bring in to show us who she was. Now you go down where she was, you found a lot, down there people talked about Bonsoir, who helped free a lot of black folks down that way. When the Confederate troops went down that way, they said it was a sea of heads. It was a sea of heads floating down in the, down there in the river. So that's the way she taught them to fight. Was the head, you behead every person that, you behead the criminal, what I call them criminals. You beheaded your enemy. You take their head off. That way you they say you take the head off and they separate the head and the body. and then they have no way of getting back together. All these things were things that we did teach our children, and our children do know. They know about it, you know. And um, it's a practice even to today down in New Orleans, down in the bayou, that you separate the head of your enemy. That's the way you do it, and it's a whole Vansoir um, organization down in the bayou.
Mm.
Well, that's the way we had to uh, do, because we wanted our children to know their history and who fought for them, and not the bright shiny lies that they try to pull. You know, we look at in our era, they put it two black men against each other, Malcolm and Martin,
Mhm.
and they try to use it. Okay, so these were things that we did as a, as a race of people to teach our children, and any child was welcome to come to our school. They just was gonna hear what we hear. I had a version of a freedom school called Big Mama's House. And children, yeah, Big Mama's House was rough. We took that from the city. We took us a building from the city, a whole apartment out that they had the city owned, and started us a Big Mama's House. And we stayed there we taught Big Mama's House reigned for 15 years. For 15 years, we had a Big Mama's House, and the children um, came, they ate, they had food, and we made sure they had clothing. We made sure if they, had a family member at home or brothers and sisters that didn't come to Big Mama House, we gave them food, but they got 3 meals a day. We carried our children all over the city, all over this state and out the state, all down in Virginia. We even went to North Carolina with no money. Now, Big Mama's House never had a budget. We never had a budget. Um, Sometime we didn't even know, but we didn't pay gas and liquid either, y'all. Let me put that in there. We didn't pay no utilities. We didn't pay gas and liquid, and we didn't pay taxes on the building. We just stayed there. Um, but because of the work we were doing, I stepped out on faith, and good people like y'all always made sure that we had the funds that we needed to do. If I said we needed buses, we always had money to get the buses. We needed lunch and stuff. We carried with us food for the children. Um, Parents would come and who couldn't afford a camp, couldn't afford a summer camp or day school, nothing. They would say, "Can my child come?" And we started out saying we ain't gonna have but 50 children, because we took a 3-story apartment building, right? It wound up we had 150 children. We had classrooms and all, and we had a teacher, a principal, a retired principal. I just talked to her the couple of days ago, Miss Willie B. Austin, who came and helped us. My two of my daughters were teachers. They came out of the public school system to help me in Big Mama's house. And one of them had just been made a principal to a private school. And she left it to come and help me run Big Mama's house. And my sister, who's going on, she used to do all the clerical and stuff for us. And my thing was I ran around and muscle up enough funds for us to be able to do whatever we could, whenever we could, would speak and ask people to help us and give us money. And when I was in the school, I gave guidance to the children. You never could hear no fighting in Big Mama's house. Children, they didn't come in cussing. They came in cussing, but they didn't leave out. cussing. We had children that come to Big Mama's house that nowhere else would take them. It got so good the coach started sending us children. They started sending us. Yeah, they sent us children. There's a young man now, he came by the other day to talk to me and he said, Big Mama, I just want you to know I'm all right. I'm doing all right. I ain't got in no trouble or nothing. But the coach sent him to us. And when they sent him to us, he was 12 years old and would cuss out everybody and his mama, his he carried on. So the coach had sent him and his mama brought him in with the papers and his grandmother was with us. She said, I don't know what y'all gonna do with him. So I said, well, we'll try it today. And he was upstairs carrying on. And Miss B sent for me. So I said, come downstairs with me. He came down and he had a mouth on him, but he wasn't ready for what happened to him. I used to keep this little stick called the do-right. The do-right stick. And when he called me a fat old bitch, I whopped him with that do-right stick. I whopped him about 5 times before he know it. I was on top of him and I pulled him down and started sitting on him and was tearing him up. I said, don't nobody cuss in this goddamn place but me. And you shut your damn mouth. And I whipped his butt. And he said, let me up. Please, let me up. I let him up. I put him back in that corner. I said, call it again. He wouldn't say nothing. I said, open your mouth. If you open your mouth, I take this damn stick and bust your boy, I'll tear your ass up. And when that evening came, time for him to go home, his grandmother came and picked him up. Because you have to come in and get the child. We didn't let children go by themselves. Each time we had a child, you had to come pick your child up. So we know that you got your child. She came to get him. And he told her what happened. So she came back the next day. She said, he said that you whipped him. I said, yes, I did. And I told you the rule when you brought him here, that I discipline every child in there. If you don't want me to do that, then you don't bring him back. She said, oh, no, ma'am, please keep him right here because he was real good last night. ADHD or whatever, but now he's a grown man with his own children, and he loved me. He said, "Big Mama, I love you. I love you, because you showed me how to act." Now I don't know whether I did. Well, they just didn't beat his ass. That's what it was. They just weren't putting it, But my thing was to even my grandchildren, anybody's child come to Big Mama. If you don't want me to correct your child, do not leave it here. Carry it away. Nobody cusses in Big Mama house but me. Never teacher but me. Big Mama the only somebody gonna do that. And we gonna love your child and respect it, but we gonna teach it respect and show them what it's supposed to be. And that's the way Big Mama house was. And even in the Black Panthers, when children would come, we would say, they little brother, little sister. I said, do you want your ass knocked off, little brother? My mother said, I say, and I'll knock her ass off too. Now you sit down there and act like you got some sense, brother or sister. You sit there. And so we learned respect for the adults around us. And that's what's missing today. Because everybody got so much love for their children, they let them go crazy in the world. And then when horrible, terrible things happen to your child, then it's society's fault. No, you teach your child how to deal in society. See, when the police stop my children, used to stop my children, and they be calling them boy, my sons would stop and say, my name is, sir, my name is Harvey Rogers. And if he said boy again, my son said, sir, my name is Harvey Rogers. I'm just taking one of my children. That's one of my children, right? Or if they stopped my girls and they said, girls, my name is Willana Rogers. That's my oldest daughter. That's the way we would teach our children to respond to the police. And so we know that if our children got attacked by the police, it wasn't something our children did to the police, because we had already told them what to say and how to respond. So I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl. It's just like when a police one time stopped me. Hey, Granny, where you going? I kept going. Damn grandma. And he said again, hey, Granny, because we was in the demonstration. I was going into the, hey, Granny, wait. I didn't wait. I kept walking. And then he run up. Didn't you hear me talking to you? And I turned around and looked at him. I said, officer, do I look like your grandmother? Got blonde hair, blue eyes, and you 25 shades lighter than me. I'm not your grandmother, sir. Now, if you'd have said miss, I would have stopped. But you said granny, and that's not my name. You don't have to pleasure calling me granny. I didn't give you that honor. If I'd allowed you to do that, if I'd have gave you that honor, then you could call me granny. But you don't just take it for, and don't call me auntie, because I ain't your auntie either. My name, and I told him, my name is Annie Chambers. Just like we tell the children, I said, my name is Annie Chambers. And I'm going in here to sit down at this demonstration. But see, if it had exploded after that, then everybody would have known that I gave him the proper information. That's all you supposed to give a police officer is your name. And that's what we teach our children. So those things were taught as Black Panthers to our young people and to our people, to our people. When people want to say we was, militant, I say, what you consider it as militant? Am I not? I'm militant because I ain't gonna let you beat the hell out of me. I'm militant because I'm not gonna let you treat me like I'm not a human being. But is that being militant? If I did that to you, and you retaliated, would that be militant? It's just like the young people out here now, when they want to talk, oh, it was a militant riot. I said, y'all don't know what a damn riot is. You don't know what a riot. I'm waiting for the riot. You don't know what a riot is. A little uprising and they go, it was a riot.
Well, sure.
Rod would teach them something. You understand? But what the young people are doing now, I commend them. I commend them. Sometimes it just hurt me in my heart that I can't be out there with them doing it, because it showed. I said this is what the revolution, but this is the whole heart of the revolution is right now. You all will finish this thing. America will change because the young people gonna make sure it change. Even if it don't change while I'm here, I know that it's change. It's the change will be. Y'all will finish this. This is the finish of the revolution for the people. And the young people, that's why when they were doing, well, have a peaceful demonstration. How in the hell you gonna have a peaceful peace? We the fools had the peace. We got the hell beat out of us and shot and stabbed. Walking around. Well, forget it.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
They're gonna beat the shit out you.
Here,
Yeah,
real
I
quick,
think
we're
you
gonna
mentioned
take like a minute or two break because I've got tech issues on my end. Like we're all still gonna hang out, but the audience is gonna take a break for like a minute, and we're gonna try and figure that shit out. So while we're doing that, please keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it's because we came at them like football players, even though they were still dressed like they were ready to go to war in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So
They get what they call a ride gear on, but no matter what you do, you're gonna, So that listen, I say when they ask me, well, will you ask the young people to come peaceful? I say if you let us be peaceful, we'll be peaceful. But if you don't ask for no peace. And when we talk about peace, honey, there is no peace for us until we change this system in America. There can be no peace until we get the thinking and the people in America, Donald Trump thinking, we will have no peace. There can be no peace. What did we come at them with? We walking down this demonstration, we got shot with real bullets. I got real bullets. We got stabbed with real knives. The band-aids on the back of their guns, on the guns that they had when they moved back. They stabbed us. They cut us. They beat us with billy clubs. We still marching peaceful, won't we? Shot us with the water cannons. Peaceful, right? Stuck the dogs on us. Peaceful, right? Who in the hell is them to ask for some peace? Who is they to ask for the peace? We came in peace. I'm so glad y'all ain't gonna let it go out with the bull job that they did.
well, yeah, because even though now they're technically using non-lethal weaponry, they're still doing everything they can to essentially just hurt us. They have I forgot the name of them, but they have like these pepper spray bullets where you're supposed to shoot it at the ground and it'll release the gas. Instead, they've shot it at our faces. And I know people that still have like black eyes from pepper spray bullets. And then there's also the rubber bullets which they just shoot at us point blank. And there's a video of one of my friends, his name is Andy. He's literally like, the police is on top of him and he's trying to smash his leg in with his shield. And it's like, when can we defend ourselves here? Because we're coming at them with nothing but chance and like, maybe some protective vest or like some safety goggles, but we're not coming at them with actual weapons, especially because we're in California and Los Angeles where gun laws are so strict. Like this isn't even like the South where we can open carry.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I got a volunteer still suffering right now. He come out, got shot with the rubber bullet and went to the hospital. And now he got to pay the bill for the treatment at the hospital from getting shot with the bullet. So, this is what I'm saying. We show up America for what it is and what it's about. This is America, and this is what we need to show up. This is why we got to continue to fight. We got to continue to fight. And the fact that you young people make me so proud. Some days I just when I see the demonstrations, especially out there in Los Angeles and all those places, I sit down with tears in my eyes, and I be crying for you all, and I say, thank you, Lord, that you continue to, the soldiers are still there. You all are soldiers. You're soldiers. You're revolutionaries. You're soldiers fighting a revolution. And it's I I do pray and ask for blessings for each and every one of you. And the fact that somebody can get so angry they can take a car and run somebody down, or they can take a gun and just go in and shoot people at random. See, that's evilness. And y'all standing up against some terrible evilness. And that's what we stood up against.
Well, that's one of the things that we're always screaming essentially at these protests is no justice, no peace.
Right.
Like there's not going to be peace until we get justice in this country,
Right.
and until the revolution follows through. So it's just I'm really thankful for your blessings, and that we can and just hope that we can continue this fight, because hopefully I still got a lot of years in me.
Yes, I really commend you, and I really thank you. I really thank all the young people that's out there in the street, in spite of what they want to say about young people. I know that you're fighting a just war. This is a just war.
From a
This is a
cursory
fact,
examination of history, it's just an older generation telling the younger generation that they're doing it wrong and they don't know shit. And speaking is like the lone member of Generation X here, which has never counted and will never count. Nobody gives a fuck about us anyway. Like it's ridiculous. It is. If you can't expect people to grow up in an entirely technologically advanced environment with the exact same problems that their grandparents faced,
Right.
and not want to take to the streets over that. You just can't. Like it's hubris on a level that usually only resides inside the minds of like the upper echelon of the Democratic Party. But it's beyond me. I was involved in what I consider to be a riot, which was the WTO protests in 1999 in Seattle.
Yeah, that was right.
That was the first time I got my head split open by the cops. It wasn't the last. It was supposed to deter me from wanting to get my head split open by the cops again, but it didn't, because have you seen me?
Well, that's what they always try to do at these protests, is they try to deter you. What they're doing to protesters in LA, and what they did to me specifically, is they come up to you in undercover vans and start flashing lights at you, and then they detain and search you and like shove you into their cars and everything for no reason, essentially. And it's meant to deter you from coming back, because you don't want to get arrested, you don't want to have to deal with the cops like that. But
Right.
my problem is when I got detained, it just made me angrier. So it just made me want to come out more. And that's where a lot of young people are, is we're at the point where we're a sizable portion of us just aren't gonna be afraid, and we're frankly too angry to deal with anything else, and too angry to worry about the repercussions.
Yeah, well, see, that all those practices are old. They just pulled out the rule book. Those practices are old. We would be in demonstrations right then where I come from, Richmond, Virginia. I went down there to be in a demonstration, and they knew who I was, or they found out, and I had all these brothers around me trying to protect me. They gang busted them, okay, and they pulled me out, locked me up. Um, like you said, they asking questions. And again, I gave them my name. My name is, my name is, my name is. Every question they ask me and where I live, my name is. That's, they knew who I was. They questioned me for one whole day.
Hmm.
Then they put me in a cell so far in the back of that little nasty jail and never brought me no food or water for 2 days. See, I had a priest that if he didn't hear from me every night to let him know that I was all right, he started, what? Now he knew that I was going to Virginia, Father Witchland, to Richmond. And so when he didn't hear from me in 3 days, he came to Richmond and he approached the jail and told them he wanted to see me. And they told him they didn't have me, which he knew was a lie because he had talked to some of the other, demonstrators and they said, she got missing. So when he came back to the jail, he had all these archbishops and everybody else with him, and they demanded to see every prisoner that was in the jail. All of a sudden, well, we got a woman back there, we don't know her name. Okay, Father Witchland said, well, bring that woman out. The woman was me. Okay. They knew my name because I kept telling them my name was Annie Chambers, Annie Chambers. So they knew who my name was. So happened the judge that they brought me in front of couldn't look me in the face.
Mm.
He could not look me in the face. You know why? Because when I was 12 years old, he was the man that raped me. And he was the father of my first child. His whole thing was, just get her out of this state and don't let her, you can't come back. That was what he said. When we got outside, I explained to Father and to the Monsignor and to the Archbishop who he was. Wasn't being nice, just take her and go, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't being nice. That devil wasn't being nice.
Mm.
It was he could not look at me because I had grown up to be a woman and I was still fighting him. I was still fighting him, okay? So when we left and got back here in Baltimore, Father Witchland asked me where was I going, my next demonstration. I said, Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia, Father. We're having a demonstration there this weekend. He said, okay. Then if I don't hear from you, I'll be there. We led the demonstration, and I purposely stayed up front. I purposely did the agitation. Yes, I did. But you couldn't get near one of them to touch me. He knew what he did. They, we have got to always understand that we in a battle. We in a battle. Because out of all my children, I had one son, he's dead now, Melvin, who was an activist up until the day he died. He fought up until the day he died. My oldest daughter got involved, but then she pulled out, okay? She pulled out of activism. I have another daughter who much younger after all this stuff was over, who I had, Geraldine, who was an activist, right? But I used to always tell him, you don't have room to back down. If you going in this thing to back down, then don't go.
Mm.
When you step out there, you step with your life. And you have surrendered your life to the movement.
Mm.
You have surrendered your life. So if you got any fear, don't go. I left my fear many, many years ago. I left my anger many years ago because I used to go through the demonstration with anger. And my thing was, just let me kill some of them white folks anyway, because I had the anger in me for what happened to me. But I'm so glad that that's not even a part of me now. That's not even, the creator showed me all the people that I had around me that protected me and got me to this 79 years of my life were men. And only one of them was black, and that's my father. The rest of them were white men. Father Richland was a white priest. Michael Brand was a white Jewish man who was a college professor, who was like a brother to me. We fought shoulder to shoulder. I got another brother that's going on. I got the scar where he saved my life, named Richard Brand. Richard died saving my life because the bullet came, they were shooting, and he pulled me down and laid on me, and the bullet went in his head and killed him. So, you see, it takes all of us for this revolution, baby, to make change in this country. And that's what you all are doing. All races, creed, and colors are out there in the street. And this is the revolution. A just and holy revolution that y'all are fighting. And your soldiers and your revolutionaries in this army. And so no matter how they try to discourage y'all young people, I commend you. I pray. So when I can't get out there, I sit on my couch and I pray. I call out to God to just give you strength, to hold y'all on, to protect you. I do it because all over this country, all over this world now, there are young people fighting for change. But in America, we will win the revolution. Make no much about it. We're going to win this revolution. And I didn't mean
talk about that for a little bit because I have realistic concerns about where and how the mechanisms of this particular revolution are being funded, who's doing the funding, and to what aim. And there are cogent arguments to be made that this is or that Black Lives Matter as an institution is a color revolution in the style of the NED led color revolutions in any number of foreign countries. And my hope is, and it's the same hope that I have with Sunrise Movement and the same hope that I have with Extinction Rebellion, is that the people who are on the ground and there for the right reasons realize that centralized leadership is not necessarily the best pathway forward when all of our centralized leadership programs have failed us, and that there are ways to do this on a decentralized level that remove a lot of the pitfalls. Do you know what I mean? And if I'm talking crazy here, please let me know.
No. Let me tell you. I says that, and I don't mean to jump in. You can jump in, young lady, if you want to. but let me tell you, the Democratic Party is funding some stuff right now. Okay, let's not make no mistake about that. You even got the Republican Party funding some stuff, and there is some other people defunding stuff in the movement. Now, as far as the Black Lives Matter movement, I don't know at the top. But I tell you, the young people I meet in the street is real in their heart, and they're fighting. It's just like when we fought, what they used to say. We were out there. They say, "Oh, the communists is funding." Damn, I'm glad the communists gave us something. I ain't gonna lie. Hell, the communists, yeah, thank you, communists. They gave us something. Damn right. Thank you. We didn't have nothing. Fighting with stones. Yeah, the communists gave us something. And so I tell you, any means necessary. That's what Minister Malcolm X. That's what he meant to us. You can give me something and I'll fight. If you give me what I need, we supposed to, I'm not gonna turn it down. I'll take it, but you don't control me. You understand? That's what it is. We cannot allow them to control, because it's a group that came through Baltimore. I know that the Democratic Party funded them. But as I said to the other young people who were talking, asking me, well, I say, but it's your job to get in there and educate them. Don't let them be controlled. Okay? Because can you imagine when them people had them guns pointing down on the Black Panthers and grabbing us and locking us up, if Fidel hadn't let us come to Cuba and helped us and give us money, what could have happened? And they could, oh, you're reading out the red book. I'd have read out a damn green book if they'd have gave it to me. Then you learn how to struggle. I know how to fight today because I was trained by the Cuban revolutionaries who trained us, who showed us how to fight. We didn't know nothing. Of course, we knew about the razor. Come on. But they showed us how to even use a razor. Many state troopers, some of them I know if they still living, got their ass hanging out. Because we cut them in a minute and they didn't even know they were cut. We learned that. We learned how to use that. Called a razor brigade. All these things we learned. And long as there's a revolution, there will be somebody trying to get in there for their good. I tell people all the time, I will pray for you and kill you at the same time. Lord, help this devil. Let him know that if this is helping, you understand? We have to take whatever resources we can get, wherever we can get them, because we on the front line fighting. And we fighting like hell, brothers and sisters. We fighting. So I don't know where all the resources come from these children have gotten. I don't know where they're coming from. But I do know this. I know that they fighting a hell of a battle. And the ones that I meet that's on the ground from all the movements are truly, truly, truly revolutionaries. And they fighting. They fighting. Hell, we sometimes didn't even know how we was gonna get our next meal if it wasn't some communist people gave us some food. Okay, we know where we was gonna do certain things. Fidel got money into the United States, and that took some doing, right? But he did it and got us supplies and resources. The movement has always relied on its friends and sympathetic people. And that's the way it is now. Now, whether you giving it, because the Democratic Party ain't giving you no money to be your friend. They're giving you money so that they can beat up on the Republican Party. And the Republican Party is giving them money so they can Trump can point to, oh, we got these agitators and stuff. They pay people to come in and agitate. We know them, some of them. We know some of them right here in this city.
Baltimore, yeah.
Come in. Backtrack! Backtrack! Ain't about nothing. We know what you about. We know who you is. But that's what they getting paid for. So you step on that rat and keep going. Step all on them. When they be trying to get up to speak, I move them out the way and overtalk them. Whatever. This is a revolution. We're fighting with whatever we can get. We're fighting with whatever we can get by any means necessary. We got to win this revolution. We got to win the revolution. So to win the revolution, we will have to get resources and everything else anywhere we can. We know we don't have, and people talking, and I'm going to say it because I don't say it openly anyway. Oh, don't you, Pamela Harris? I wouldn't care if that wench jumped overboard. She's a murderer.
Yeah.
She's a murderer, as far as I'm concerned. She put a death penalty and all that other stuff. Look at all them black people she done hurt. Why would I think she trying to help me? But if she come with a bag of money, I'll snatch it and throw it down and keep going. Yeah, because it's going to help the revolution. We don't have a toss-up, for president right now, if we said it, and I say to people, but we know what we fighting for. It ain't about who's in the White House, as far as I'm concerned. It's about making change in this country.
Well, from everything that I've experienced, it doesn't matter who's in the White House because they're interchangeable, dead-eyed, soulless sociopaths hell-bent on serving power for the sake of power and little else. I guess what I don't know. I guess what I've been trying to figure out is ways to build anti-societies, I guess is how you'd kind of phrase that. Like, decentralized pockets of community that don't necessarily need an overarching centralized governmental structure to tell them what to do, how to do it, what they're allowed to eat, when they're allowed to eat it, and what their kids are allowed to learn.
Well, that's what the revolution is about. We need to decentralize. I'm tired of people. I was so mad when somebody told somebody, I live in public housing, y'all. You can't smoke in public housing. A cigarette. Now, you can smoke a little happy grass, but you can't smoke a cigarette. Because they're supposed to, if you got a doctor's card, then they can't stop you from smoking your medication.
Get on getting her that card, Ian.
But no, that's the truth. That's the truth. You can't smoke a cigarette in here though. So my thing is,
can't have a kiddie pool. Can't have air conditioner.
You can't have a air conditioner. You can't have a kiddie pool. You can't have a grill.
How in the hell does that work? Because
I
I've
don't
been in Maryland in the middle of the summer and it's downright unpleasant.
It gets humid.
You can't have two air conditioners. You get more than one, you get thrown out.
But I got two. I ain't got no kids, so I don't need the damn pool. I turn on the hose and back in the day style. But I got me two grills too. Because you ain't supposed to have a barbecue grill. Mm-hmm. I like a little barbecue every now and then, so I barbecue all the time. You ain't supposed to have plants on your steps. You come to my house, you think you're in the jungle. Because everything they say you ain't supposed to have, I'm waiting for them to come put me out.
I can confirm. I can.
I'm waiting for them to come try to put me out. Then y'all will have me on the TV. See old Gwen out there in her shotgun in a damn wheelchair. Wait, that's what's gonna happen. They ain't gonna put me out. But you understand, that's what we fighting against, a society like that. To say how you raise your family, what you can eat, these are things that it is like That's what you talk about. Hitler in a Hitler state. Okay. Well, that's not what we. You know, we should be free. As a matter of fact, see, I hate that damn border wall too. Let me tell y'all, I hate that because this is God's land. This is His country, and people ought to be able to go all over the world any way they want, anytime they want. This is a free world. None of us own nothing. None of us. And to say you done stole half of the damn wall, over half of it, all of the wall, as a matter of fact, right now is on the land they stole from the Cubans. I mean, from the Mexicans. Hell, you done stole the people's stuff and then said, don't come across it. You know, Mexico should be up in arms and be head of this revolution. That's what I be telling my Hispanic brothers. I said, come on, get your ass up here, right in front, right along with me. Because they done stole everything. You know, they beat the hell out of us and brought us here, and they done stole your stuff and don't even want you here. Come on, we in this together. You understand? We gotta stop. That's really what this revolution is about. This is what we have to do in the revolution by saying America is everybody, open country. You done stole it from the native people. That's what you did. How do you discover my house? You come into my damn house, my little shack here, and tell me, oh, I'm gonna live here. This is my spot. But that's what they did. They stole a country. This you know, it's like you coming in somebody's house and taking it over. And that's what America is about. That's why it ain't gonna stand the way it is.
And we've just turned manifest destiny into the basis of our foreign policy.
Pretty much.
Like once we felt like we'd stolen enough land at home, we were like, there's a big old world out there.
Yeah,
let's probably get away with this too, you know. And yeah, if your foreign policy is based on stealing the natural resources and land of another country, you should expect the people who live there to be pissed off about that.
Yes.
It's fucking, yeah, the amount of conceit that it takes. Like, I don't know, dude. I personally haven't had shit like that to where I've felt like, okay, now I have too much stuff where I am, I better go fucking, you know, invade somewhere else so I can park more of my shit there. Like, it's just never really entered into my personal, you know, makeup of who I am, but it seems to be a national fucking pastime.
Yeah, but that's the history of this country. When they say God bless America, I say God damn America for what they have done. They live in damnation, God. So you need to overthrow America, change America. That's my prayer. I pledge no allegiance to America because America has never pledged any allegiance to me. You understand? We in this world as a nation, a people, should pledge the allegiance to ourselves, to this country should be free flowing. People could go and come. We you know, I don't know any other way that we can put. There's no way they can adjust. You know, they can justify what they did. They can't justify what they did. There's no way. All the history books is a lie. That's why I don't want them dirty crooks that be going out of sight. Let them statues stay there so we could tell who them dirty ass crooks was. Old Columbus and they, how the hell he gonna discover that again? You gonna come in my house and discover? Hell, I just put some new curtains in my bathroom, high class one too. Cost me $50-some. You gonna come in and discover them? You know that's the crazy stuff. I don't know. I said, what in the world? Yeah, you know, how do you discover? And that's what we had that thing about Columbus. Columbus should never have a day. But you know what? The Native American people should be able, and black people and everybody else, teach their children who that dirty bastard person was, who he was, okay, and what he did. But now that should be an Italian day, like I tell them here. That everybody else got a day. There should be a holiday for them. The Italian people, he was one person. Hell, I can tell you some African kings, I want their ass burnt too. They sold me into slavery. You know, so, you know, who's the name? Jintu, whoever, my son told me the man's name anyway. If I could get to hold to him and he dead and gone, I'd like to dig up his bones and burn them up. He don't even need a place on this earth. But you understand, this is what we have to teach. This is when we can teach the real history of this country and then teach the real history of the world, far as I'm concerned, we have to make sure that you know, we have to respect everybody is entitled to their, you know, when they say race, we are tribes. There's always been tribes. There's always been tribes of people. But we all got to get along, because one thing we got in common, we all human. We're not a tribe of animals. We're all human. So there are different ones of us, different shades, colors, language, whatever. And that was done for a purpose. But we all, when it come down to it, it is human. Because you take one child and put it in another situation, that child don't know no difference in that situation than if it was a black child raised in a white family, then the child, why is you calling me black? You know, and that's what we have to teach our families and children, and that's what I say to them. But thank God, cut him off. Thank God, the young people, I love y'all. I love the young people. The young people is even changing all that. They don't have none of that in them either. They just look at each other as a human being. And every now and then I hear some of them nationalists come in with their little junk. I said, what you talking about? That ain't, no. You carry that on with your group. But the majority of the young people know that you're a human being and you love everybody. You love yourself so you can love everybody. That's what the struggle is out here in the street you see now. That's what we see, the revolution. So, as I said, I ask the Creator every day, Lord, protect my children, which is the soldiers out here in the street.
Well, that's probably a decent place to wrap up for this one. Annie,
All right.
I love you as much as I did at the start of the episode. You know you're welcome back anytime, right? Like you just call me up and be like, I got something cooking and I want to talk about it, and yeah, we'll have you.
Can we plug this protest we got going on?
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah, so Reverend's being real modest because she's acting like she's sitting at home all day watching people on TV. And I got to tell you, it's a struggle to just keep up with her and all the work she's doing, because she's fighting the housing authority, she's fighting homelessness, she's fighting hunger every day. I mean, that's not a joke. Every single day we do a food drive here. And now the Housing Authority of Baltimore is essentially planning on shutting down not just Douglas Homes where she lives, but all the housing authority and the authority of the individual RAD delegates, which are the representatives to the housing authority from each community. And legally, HUD cannot spend money without the approval of the tenants through the RAD board. So shutting down the RAD board means that the tenants no longer have a say, and that the housing authority can do whatever they want. And this is a fight being fought in New York, in Philly, all around the country, because
Chicago too.
All these different areas are doing it right now, and it's an absolute mess. So here in Baltimore, we've got a big rally coming up on October 24th at 2 p.m. It's going to launch right here from Douglas Homes, and it's going to be marching all over the city to protest this. And we got a bunch of other cities that are already done protests, like New York, and other cities that are already doing protests around the same time. So this is a very big deal nationally.
Is this what you guys were in the early stages of planning when me and Kendra came and hung out that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it sounds a little bit familiar. By the way, Kendra sends her love, and she would like to give you a virtual hug. Even though she's a punk ass and she couldn't make it for the live show today. Punk ass. She found a no mask church in Denver. She was gonna go check that out.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. But so yeah, sorry. Can continue with plugging.
October 24th, right here in Baltimore. If anyone listening is in the Baltimore, DC area,
2
come on out. 2 o'clock right here in Douglas Homes. AnnieChambers.org is the website to find out more about the food giveaway that we do, and it's got all Reverend Chambers' public information up there. And if you want to email her or get in touch with her electronically, go to Schlakman.com, because everyone tries to email Reverend Chambers, and you might as well just be emailing me. Just go to Schlakman.com, and I'll pass the message on to her, I promise.
Yeah, because I don't even check it sometimes.
Yo, dude, I'm right there with you. I have right now currently like between 3 different email accounts that I rarely ever check, hundreds and hundreds of emails that I'm never gonna read.
I have 10,000, and I'm not joking.
Yeah,
it's okay, Ian. I'm with you. I always check my emails.
Well, I'll have to, otherwise I'll miss the notifications that Reverend gets.
Fair enough. I don't have any room in my life to.
Yeah, I'm be tired. I come in and go to bed. Hell, I ain't gotta look. You know, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Oh, and before we close, I know we were going to talk a little bit about what was going on with Julian Assange, and there's a lot of overlap. I think between what public and private national security aligned businesses do and have done to WikiLeaks and the people that are involved with WikiLeaks and everyday protesters who are out in the street. We just found out that a full complement of FBI surveillance tools have been employed against protesters in LA. There were students here in Santa Cruz who were doing a wildcat strike. They had FBI grade and military grade surveillance tools deployed against them. I talked to and interviewed and hung out with one of the organizers, a guy named Carlos Cruz, and like he was straight like followed to for about a week. He had a tail on him just for being at the forefront of this wildcat strike, which was about a cost of living increase because it is expensive as hell to live in Santa Cruz, California. And if you're a teacher's assistant there, you are getting crap for pay. You're getting crap for, like, you don't even get free tuition. You get a tuition break. It's just the UC system right now is ran by Janet fucking Napolitano, who was Bill Clinton's, or maybe it was Bush's, but Homeland Security head. Why is a former Homeland Security chief running the University of California education system at the college level? Like, why?
Yeah.
You know, and Santa Cruz is like where at least from what I can tell, Angela Davis lost a lot of her fucking fire because she got here and got comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
But to turn it back to Julian Assange real quick, the end of October, his defense team has to submit closing arguments. The prosecution has 2 weeks to respond, and then the defense has 72 hours to respond. So around November 16th or 17th will be the end of closing arguments. They're only submitted in writing. There will be nobody in a courtroom to speak to this. There won't even be like a cloud video feed like they had for that month, to where journalists can observe and be able to report on it. And then on January 4th, District Judge Vanessa Breitzer, the concierge of the U.S. State Department, will read her decision. Action for Assange is planning to be in Washington, D.C. on January 4th for that. We'll probably get in right after New Year's and get settled in and set up. Hopefully we can get to Baltimore for an afternoon to come see you in the middle of all of that chaos. I'm gonna at least try to make a point of that. But yeah, I mean that's where we're at right now. So on the vigils, we've decided to take one of a witness statement per episode that we're going to go through and go over, because there were some incredibly powerful statements that were delivered to that, including like Khalid El-Masri, who was a torture victim. Chomsky had a really good statement that he submitted to the court. The one from Cassandra Fairbanks, which blows a hole in the entire, like, Trump's a good guy in this, and he just wants to, he's got to wait till his second term before he can regionally, like that bullshit. Cassandra Fairbanks' statement blows a giant hole in that. So it'll, we're trying to turn it into basically like a 2-month teach-in period where we can keep this material fresh in everybody's mind. We'd love to be able to do some of this in person. So if you guys know a way to like safely organize an in-person event, please let me know and we'll throw it together in the next couple of months. Because I like this kind of stuff. You all fucking camera. This kind of stuff, it helps so much when you're there and in person to be able to do it. God damn, yeah. I hate this thing.
It's fine. It's fine. We can see you.
At any rate, I want to thank you guys so much. I'm going to throw it to Glory for a minute, see if she has any final questions for the two of you, and I've got nothing but love and respect for you and Ian, Reverend Danny.
Likewise.
Can I just talk one more thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. I didn't mention the organizers of the events coming up, because right now a lot of the organizing that Reverend Chambers and I are doing through People's Power Assembly. Yes. Which is also has a newspaper, Struggle La Lucha. Which is
tell Andre, give Andre a hug for me, please.
I certainly will. And they're still doing a good amount of in-person events. And the one of our top comrades in that is a nurse, so she knows how to do them safely and all that kind of stuff. So we'll definitely ask around with our comrades, no problem. But I think it's important to mention that if you check out the Struggle La Lucha page on Twitter, which I think also goes by Socialist Unity Party, that they should have a lot of the details for the upcoming things that we have going on nationally and here in Baltimore. And a couple other partners are the Dreamers People's Progress Party, which should also have that information up about the march. And then also helping us out has been For the People has been helping us out too on the streets, giving out food every day. There's a couple of different shout outs I wanted to give. You got everything, Reverend?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. I gotta say, you all, Reverend is not doing herself enough justice. She is out there every single day. She's on calls twice a week. She goes to more events than I do in Baltimore. I'm not joking about that. I'm working my butt off. She's out there every single day. She's not retired. She has not given up the struggle. She's
No, I can't give up the
revolutionary.
struggle. When I give up the struggle, y'all be having that box going down, dancing behind me. Hey! You know, I want that New Orleans swinging. See, that's what I want. I ain't gonna give up the struggle then. They're gonna create me, and I'm gonna have my ashes whipping them in the eyes when they do something. Blow in the eye, kill them, get them. So Reverend ain't giving up nothing.
All right, welcome. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, no, and thank you. Like, seriously, thank you so much for all your blessings for like us on the ground. And also just speaking to Steve's earlier point as well, there really is a significant overlap between the Assange case and the threat that the national security state poses to these protesters. Like the FBI is full force in LA right now. There was also recent no-knock raids on PSL organizers in Denver, where a couple of the party's organizers were arrested for nothing but staging a sit-in and for their work they did in getting the Justice for Elijah McClain protest. So in that sense, I really think there's a lot of overlap between the case of Julian Assange and the protest movement. And even myself, I've noticed it provides kind of for a vehicle to unite people that can have opposing viewpoints. Like I've been able to talk to Trump supporters essentially about the threat that the national security state poses to us and this Assange case. And I've been able to have them walk, almost like walking with us and marching with us at some point, because like class issues, we can kind of unite as well on that threat that the security state poses. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. And also just, again, I really, really thank you guys for like everything you do. It's seriously an inspiration, and like your blessings mean so much to me.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you. And Gloria Lariva just outpolled Howie Hawkins in Florida. So
Oh, I saw that. I was thinking of you, Ian.
I voted for Gloria.
the revolutionary message is getting out. It's getting out there.
All
Anti-imperialism is on the rise. So we got to keep fighting.
All right.
All right, well that's gonna do it for this episode of Slow News Day. I love this. I really do. I'll reiterate this one more time. On my do not resuscitate order, I have you listed as my spiritual advisor, Reverend Annie. So you ever get a random phone call from a hospital, just tell them that I'm done. Which I don't assume is going to happen anytime soon, but you never know. So on that, man, I'm really, really glad that that Glory is part of the team now. I'm stoked on that. It really is just going to be a whole lot of fun. And until next time, I hope to see most of the people watching right now on Tuesday for the Free Assange Vigil. Ray McGovern will be joining us, and we will be going through the witness statement of Khalid El-Masri. It'll be fucking heavy, but knowing us, we will pull some gallows humor out of somewhere. And yeah, till then, good luck to us all.